This is the book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 14. He said to me, 2,300 evening and mornings, then the sanctuary will be put upright again. I like to give all praises and glory to Almighty Yahweh Shai. I like to give all glory and praises and honor to Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the men of GMS who were well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Boaz on the set once again. As we dive in it once again, it's going to take 2,300 days. Now, that is obviously a metaphor for a sum of time and times and a half. Okay, that's what this is about. Okay, what we have to do is keep posture and keep perseverance and keep our integrity in Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's our job. Okay, to keep our posture, to keep our integrity, and those 3,300 days and evenings is basically that prophecy is fulfilling faster than what you could think. Okay, let's get it. Turn to the book of Romans. The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And to this, because we know that time that is already the hour for us to awake from sleep, for our salvation is now nearer than when we became believers. The night has advanced towards dawn, the day is near. So then we must lay aside the works of darkness and put on the weapons of light. Okay, so that's what this is about. Okay, our salvation is approaching nearer than when we first became believers. Okay, it's here. Okay, we in those waters now. Okay, but it is our job once again, like we discussed on multiple occasions, to keep your integrity and to keep your posture in Yahweh Shai, okay? So you can make it out with your life when this thing goes down, okay? Turn to the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 3. Trust in Yahweh and do what is right. Settle in the land, maintain your integrity. Then you will take delight in Yahweh and he will answer your prayers. Okay, so keep your posture and keeping your integrity is the most important thing that you can do in this truth. Okay, so we can make it out when this thing comes to pass. Okay. And also staying alert, okay? Not forgetting that you have to stay alert, okay, at all times. The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 34. But be on your guard so that your hearts are not weighted down with the disputations and drunkenness and the worries of this life, and that day close down upon you suddenly like a trap, for it will overtake all who lives on the face of the whole earth. But stay alert at all times, praying that you may have strength to escape all these things that must happen and to stand before the Son of Man. Okay, so that's what this is about. Okay, that's what this thing's all about. Okay. Okay, so one moment. The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 19. But by your endurance, you will gain your lives. Okay, so once again, by your endurance and perseverance, okay, that's how you're going to maintain and gain your life. Okay, that's what this thing's about. One moment. The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 28. But when these things begin to happen, stand up and raise your head because your redemption is drawing near. Okay, so when you see these things happen, okay, that's when you're supposed to raise your head. Okay, and we seeing these things happen. All of what's going down with ICE, what's going down with Russia, what's going down with Iran. When you see these things happen, know that your redemption is drawn nigh. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when you see the partly of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he hath made. Therefore, when you see and that's what we're seeing right now, okay? We're seeing the upwards of the people. Let's read it from the top. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay, so that's what this thing is all about. Okay. That's what this thing's all about, okay? When you start to see these things come to pass, know that it is at the door. Okay, one moment. The book of James, chapter 5, verse 9. Do not grumble against one another, brothers and sisters, so that you may not be judged. See, the judge stands before the gates, okay? And this is read from an NET Bible, okay? Once again, an NET Bible. So when you see these things come to pass, okay, what you're starting to see, know that this is your redemption is here, okay? It draws nigh. The book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Happy is the one who endures testing, because when he has proven to be genuine, he will receive the crown of life that power promised to those who love him, okay? And what crown of life that he's expecting to receive? Let's get it. The book of Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised Yahweh with songs. And in the midst of them was a young man, a higher stature than them all, and the rest, and upon every one of their heads was he set a crown, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said to me, These be they that have put off mortal clothing and put on immortality, and have confessed the name of power. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Then the angel said unto me, Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it which crowns them and gives them palms in their hand? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Power, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend those who so stiffly stood for the name of Yahweh. Then the angel said unto me, Go thou way and tell thou people what manner of things and how greatly wonders of Yahweh thy power has that thou have seen. Okay, so this thing is going down. This thing is going down, okay? You want to repent and turn so you can make it out with your life when this thing goes down. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 14, verse 6. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, This is what the sovereign Yahweh says, Return and turn from your idols and turn your faces away from your abominations. Okay, so turn to Yahweh Shai, so you can make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass. Okay, this thing is definitely coming to pass. Turn to the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 23. At the beginning of your request, a message went out, and I have come to convey it to you, for you are of great value in power sight. Therefore, consider the message and understand the vision. 70 weeks have been determined concerning your people and your holy city, to put an end to rebellion, to bring sin to completion, to anoint, to atone for iniquity, to bring in perpetual righteousness, to seal up the prophets, and to anoint a most high, most holy place. So know and understand from the issuing from the commandments to restore and rebuild to build Jerusalem until the anointed one has arrived, the prince has arrived. There will be a period of 70 weeks and 62 weeks. It will again be built with plaster and a mold, but in distressful times, okay? In distressful times, okay? That's what this is about, okay? While we here, let's get it. The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. At that time, the great prince who watches over your people will arise. There will be a time of distress, unlike any other from the nation's beginnings up at that time. But at that time, your own people, all those whose names are found written in the book will escape, okay? So that's what this thing's about, okay? All those basically names written will escape when this thing comes to pass. Turn to the book of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, we'll start verse 4. So here is what Yahweh has to say about Israel and Judah. Yes, here is what he says. You hear cries of panic and of terror. There is no peace in sight. Ask yourselves this and consider it carefully. Have you ever seen a man give birth to a baby? Why then does I see all these young men grabbing their tummies, their stomach in pain, like a woman giving birth? And why do their faces turn deathly pale? At last, what a terrible time of a trouble it is. There has never been any like it. It is a time of trouble for the descendants of Jacob, but some of them will be rescued out of it. Okay, some of them. Okay, Yahweh ain't saying all. Okay, Yahweh is not saying the whole bunch of them, okay? Just only a remnant's gonna make it out with their life when this thing comes to pass, okay? It's only gonna be a remnant that make it out with their life. Turn to the book of Numbers. The book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 34. According to the numbers of the days you have investigated the land, 40 days, you 1 day for a year, you will suffer for your iniquities 40 years, and you will know what it means to adore you. Okay, so really, I'm speaking as a man, okay? Really, we should be already delivered, okay? But Yahweh Shai is waiting for that old wicked generation to die off, okay? And they just about to perish. That's why we about to get our deliverance. He's waiting for that old wicked generation to die off, okay? But this generation is they wicked too. These Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, this new age generation, they're wicked. They're a wicked bunch. Okay, they're a wicked brood. Okay, the book of let's turn to the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 12. Let's start at on this particular verse. Let's start at verse 8. The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 8. I heard, but I did not understand. So I said, Sir, what would happen to these things? He said, Go, Daniel, for these matters are closed and sealed until the time of the end. Many will be purified and made clean and refined, but the wicked will go on being wicked. None of the wicked will understand. The wise will understand from the time that the daily sacrifices is removed and the abomination that causes desolation is set in place. There are 1,290 days, and blessed is the one who waits and attains to the 1,335 days. But you should go your way until the time of the end. You will rest, and then you will rest, and then at the end of the days you will arise to receive what you have been allotted. Okay, so this thing it's going down, okay? And you don't want to be destroyed when this thing comes to pass. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 4. Also, also for your parts, also for your part, lay on your left side and place the iniquity of the house of Israel on it. For the number of days you will lie on your side, you will bear their iniquity. I have determined that the number of years are of their iniquities are to be numbered of days for your for you 390 days. So bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. Then you will have completion. When you have completed these days, you then lie down a second time, but on your right side, and bear their iniquities of the house of Judah 40 days. I have assigned 1 day for each year. You must turn your face towards the siege of Jerusalem with your arms bare and prophesied against it. Okay, so once again, this thing's going down. Revelations chapter, let's go to Revelations. Revelation chapter 14, verse 6. Then I saw another angel flying d- directly overhead, and he had an eternal gospel to proclaim to the people who live on the earth, to every nation, tribe, language, and people, when he declared in a loud voice, fear power and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has arrived, and worship the one who made the heavens and the earth and the sea and the springs of water, okay? The book of Revelations, chapter 11. Let's start at verse 1. The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 1. Then a measuring rod like a staff was given to me, and I was told, get up and measure the temple of power, and the altars, and the one who worships there, but do not measure the outer courtyard of the temple. Leave it out, because it has been given to the Gentiles, and they will trample on the holy city for 40 and 2 months. And I will grant my two witness authority to prophesy 1,260 days dressed in sackcloth. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Okay, we're dressed in sackcloth, prophesying, okay, that this so-called white man's going down. Okay, his kingdom is about to be destroyed. That's what this is all about. The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 5. Revelations 13, verse 5. The beast was given a number to speak proud words and blasphemy, and when he was permitted to exercise ruling authority for 40 and 2 months. The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. He will speak words against the Most High. He will harass the holy ones of the Most High continually. His attention will be to change times established by law. The holy ones will be delivered unto his hands for a time and a half a time. Okay, so we're destined to be in this man's hands, but Yahweh, once he comes, all bets are off. Okay, that's what this thing's about. And when he comes, he's going to destroy this place. Okay, this place days are numbered. The book of Isaiah, chapter 127. Zion will be freed by justice, and her returnees by righteousness. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2. Many of those who sleep in the dust of the ground will awake, some to everlasting life, and others to shame and everlasting abhorrence. But the wise will shine like the brightness of the heavenly expansion, and those bringing many to righteousness will be like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, close up these words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many will dash about, and knowledge will increase. I, Daniel, watch and I, Daniel, watched as two others stood there, one on each side of the river and one on the other side. One said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, when will the end of these wondrous events occur? Then I heard the man clothed in linen who was over the waters of the rivers, who raised both his hands, both his right hand and his left hand to the sky, and made an oath by the one who lives forever. It will be for a time and a half a time. Then, when the power of the holy when the power of one who shatters the holy people have been exalted, these things will be finished. And we're entering the time of these prophecies when they're coming to pass now. Okay, we're in a season and time of those prophecies when they're coming to pass now. Okay, one moment. The book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of the ancients and be occupied in prophecies. Okay, that's what this is about. And we're at the season of those times, so we have to meditate on prophecy. Turn to the book of Revelations. Revelations 19, verse 10. So I threw myself down at his feet to worship him, but he said, "Do not do this. I am only a fellow servant with you and your brothers and sisters who hold to the testimony about Yahushua, worship power. For the testimony about Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy." Okay, it's the spirit of prophecy. And I'm going to call it right there, get you my closeout scripture. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 16. As your words came to me, I drank them in and was filled my heart with joy and happiness, because I belong to you, O Yahweh, power of heavenly armies. I did not spend my time in the company of other people, laughing and having a good time. I say to myself, because I felt obligated to you, and because I was filled with anger for what they have done. Why must I continue to suffer such anguish? Why must I endure stings of their insults like an incurable wound? Will you let me down when I need you? Like a brook, one goes for water, but cannot be relied on. Because of this, Yahweh said, you must repent of such words and thoughts. If you do, I will restore you to the privilege of serving me. If you say what is worthwhile instead what is worthless, I will again allow you to be my spokesman. They must become as you have been. You must not become like them. I will make you as strong as a wall to these people, a fortified wall of bronze. They will attack you, but they will not be able to overcome you. For I will be with you to rescue you and deliver you, says Yahweh. I will deliver you from the power of the wicked and free you from the clutches of violent people. I like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Hopefully, you was well edified. Shalom.